Well, hello there, YouTube. I have left work, just got off fourth plane there. I'm just now entering 205, probably a mile back, and it is beautiful. Temperature right now is showing 69 degrees. Somebody said it was over 70. I didn't even look on my phone before I left. I just kind of bailed out. That guy on that CBR 600 is riding along. He must have a cramp in his leg or something. He's got his leg all contorted out in a weird way, like he's got a cramp. Oh man, that is the worst thing on a motorcycle, to get a leg cramp. Ooh, brutal. Ooh, I smell tractor diesel. Oh, does that smell so good. God, that smells good. Anyway, I'm going to bounce out. We'll talk to you in whatever. Depends on where I turn over. I was going to say about an hour, but probably more like about 45 minutes. So I do need to stop. I'll stop at my Shell station there and top this thing off and hit the road. Alright, I did my ritual stop for gas here. And we got a semi truck pulling out, which I'm gonna get stuck behind. Anyway, out of Kalama here, I thought I would just take some back roads out of here. How about that? I spilled gas all over. I mean, it comes, you know, where it gets to the bottom of the little thing there, the little downspout tube, and I had 4 more cents to put in it, and I put the 4 cents, you know, to come up with an even number. And I turn around and it's just rolling out everywhere. Ah, dang it. But nice thing about the garbage ethanol induced fuel we have, it evaporates pretty quick, but still you left a skunk trail behind. You don't dare wipe that stuff off. God, it's amazing to people I see grab towels and start wiping their tank and like, no. Ooh, brutal. It evaporates very, very quickly. Just let it go. So this is the town of Kalama. You know, one of the things I need to do is take you guys for a ride up the hill and go exploring up there. There's some power lines way up there that you used to go dirt bike riding up there quite a bit. Man, I won't even tell you how long ago that was. But there's some streets of San Francisco type hills out there. Ah, look at that, a fellow Harley rider. Looks like he spends a lot of time on that thing. His face looked like it was all sunburnt. Or is that wind burnt? Now that's something I've never been able to withstand very well, is an open face helmet, no shield of any kind, just literally blasting against the elements. And I used to do it all the time when I was a kid. You know, back then there was no helmet law, and I just put on a pair of sunglasses and take off. Heck, the wife and I used to go on little trips. I mean, you know, a couple hours away type thing. We've driven out to Mount Rainier, which I took. Kelly and I went out there on that white 2014 demo. Ridden way out there without helmets. But anyway, I mean, if that's the norm, nothing seems shocking. There was no, like, you know, wear helmets for safety. You know, there'd be that kind of thing, but it wasn't anything that was pushed. I think a lot, you know, the expanding media of the world, you know, when you were a kid, you had 3 channels on the television, and you were lucky if you got one of those UHF channels, you know, and had a 4th channel. Man, you thought you were something special. Yeah, see I forget, this is like, yeah, really rough. I was about to say, this is really rough. But, there's a couple of, looks like duck hunting blinds that are out there. I would imagine with the freeway sitting there, that's probably not allowed anymore. boy, talking about, you know, older folks that are attracted to motorcycles. That Road King, wow, that thing was you couldn't stop anywhere without, you know, some fella coming up going, oh man, back years ago I had a whatever year, got a motorcycle story. Some of them, it was somebody they knew that had a motorcycle, but they always got a cool story. I love cool stories, especially from, as I like to call them, seasoned people. You know, as close as them power lines run to that bridge, that just somehow or another just doesn't seem safe, does it? One little miscue and one of them poles gets swayed over, that would be one hot bridge. What in the world they got going on here? Oh wow, they filled all that. Oh, they're gonna build something. Look at that. That's all Mount St. Helens dredge spoil. God, I haven't seen that stacked up like that in a while. Look at it all over the ground. Boy, you're talking about something that's slippery. Oh man, they are full on going to build something right there. They're getting that thing well above the ground. That explains the street sweeper going across that bridge all the time. Oh no, look at all this. It's all wet. Not good. But you know the nice thing about touring Harleys and Indians? They're big fenders, kind of. Look at them. Oh, they covered up those baseball fields out there. There was baseball fields out there. You guys remember that? Oh, them poor kids. I always forget the name of that lake. I think it says right here. Cress Lake. Kress. I remember coming through here and seeing land for sale signs on the side of this hill and thinking to myself, who in their right ever-loving mind would buy any of that land? But look at them big old houses sitting up there now. Imagine what it costs to carve into that rock and level off a place to put a house. And better yet, what about, you know, plumbing, water? And I can't imagine there's city water out here, but there could be. But look, there's now a road where a road never existed. There's one of these places out here, and I think it's where a house is sitting. Kelly and I used to stop and go out there as a lookout. We'd stand out there looking out over the freeway. But I'm pretty sure it's up around here and there's a house sitting there now. But, I mean, it was like a well-beaten trail that went out to this thing. But you could walk out and look right off the edge of the bluff, straight down, and it was creepy. But I want to say, it was right up in here, almost, because it almost seems like it was at the top of the hill. But that house looks like it could be older than what that is. I have no idea. Whatever the case, I can't figure out where it's at anymore. That old boy, he's just a wave. Look at the hawk. He's just a waving. Oh, it's beautiful. Now that's beautiful. Looking out over, you see that little thing of the main part of the Columbia is out on the other side of that little island. The part that I show you guys from the freeway, that I don't know, what would you call that? I wouldn't call it a slough. It's bigger than that. You never see the boats go through there. They all go out on the main thing, but for not being the main channel, it's got a lot of water in there. It's huge. But the main part of the Columbia, good Lord, that thing's huge. You get out in the gorge, and I would say there's areas where it's like 5 to 7 miles wide, something like that. But something I've never shown you is the turnabout where I rode out here the one time and the road was closed. And what's crazy is how there's no signs until this one point on down the road. You know, to my knowledge, there's no other route out of here. Maybe there is, I just don't know about it. But you would think back there, you know, where the baseball fields and stuff are covered up, and they're obviously building something out there. You would think at that point you'd see the sign, because there's no other entrance or exit from this area. You either pop out down here where I'm going to pop out, or back there. And one day I had to turn all the way and go all the way back down there. Maddening, I tell you. Simply maddening. Oh, I can do something unique. I can take you down the old stretch of the original I-5 that was there. I think I was living here a year or so when they changed it to its current configuration. But they left that section of freeway just sitting there, and now it's just it's like everything's kind of overgrown. And I remember the day that we moved here, the day that we pulled into Longview was October 9th, 1978. And I remember driving along these rocks and my dad saying the exit is just on the other side of this hill. And we took the Allen Street exit and went into town. My dad had found an apartment while we were looking for a house. He found an apartment near the mill where he worked. And he had actually had the apartment. That's where he was staying, because he'd come up here for like a week or two at a time, you know. And that was his first time. He worked for International Paper for many years. And then this newspaper print division of Weyerhaeuser, which is called Norpac, and it was a non-union mill. I've told you about all the fiascos of that when we moved up here. Well, not so many unions here now, but this was a huge union town, and that did not go over well at all. Not in the least bit. Anyway, this is the turnabout. Right back there is where the roads closed signs were sitting, and I was forced to go around it. But anyway, here's a little turnabout. Coolidge, huh? So they redone all this area. The guy's got no headlights. So anyway, this part of I-5 is still the same. It's up ahead where it takes a rather healthy left and then another right. This will kind of lead us into that, where the freeway used to go straight. And it was crazy. At Allen Street, there's no off-ramp. You just turned off the freeway. I mean, cars could just pull on and pull off randomly right off the side of the freeway. Man, you don't see that anywhere in the States anymore. But there was no defined exit. You could just basically pull in right there at the Red Lion Hotel. Because this is the main stretch of I-5, and it was still the same way back in 78. But where it takes that sweeping left-hand turn, it went straight. You can't really tell, but there's a cutaway in the trees. But it's all like, you know how they keep freeways, the sides of the freeways all nice and clear. The trees have grown in, and it looks a lot different. But it went straight. Where it's taking that turn, went straight through here. And I'll tell you, when we get on the freeway, the old freeway, we are now on the old I-5. But I remember riding along here, of course there was hardly any trees here, and you could see all these rocks. There's just these embedded rocks. Now a lot of them are covered up now because of all the trees growing. But this right here was a 4-lane freeway. I remember riding along and looking out, plain as day, I remember looking out that Buick station wagon we moved up here in and seeing all them rocks on the side of the road. God, they look like they're all beat up now. It seemed like they were way more uniform back then. But this is still part of the old I-5. You know, it's amazing. You think of this as a 4-lane freeway and how it just gone. Now, right in here is where things got changed up. This was still the northbound lane, but the southbound lane went wide and there was a second bridge, and they took that bridge down. This was the northbound bridge. The southbound was sitting right next to it. That is no longer there. There's the Cowweeman River. I talk about that sometimes when I'm going down the freeway, but you can't see it very well. It's hard to see, I tell you. But the freeway ran through here. I think it was a little farther to the left of me here, but you just turned off and you could just go in here and you just enter this little side road that was here and just go where you want. Now at the top of the hill there was an off-ramp you could take that is no longer there. But once you take that left and go up that hill, that's part of the old original one as well. But I'm going to take this left right here and then an immediate right, hit the freeway, and take that boring sucker the rest of the way home. And I will talk to you guys later. So again, thank you very, very much. You guys are awesome. And I really, really appreciate it. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't keep doing this. Nobody was ever watching. Why would you keep doing it? Unless you were just storing videos. So, as I enter the freeway, I'm going to roll out. Thanks again now. Take care.